Janine, what are your thoughts on the current approach today to securing data, and do you think it's effective?
Well, as the Chinese have said in the past, we live in interesting times. And I think we're living in some of the most interesting times in the last couple of centuries. Things are moving really, really fast. And when things are moving fast and there's a lot of innovation going on, I think that it causes some distraction, right? Cybersecurity and data security is a big, big business problem right now. And I think that there are a lot of smart minds out there that are trying to design solutions to solve the problem, yet we are missing it somehow still, even with all the tools that we have to our avail. I do think that the industry is moving into utilizing something called data-centric security, which is protecting the data itself. And only in about the last 12 months, the cyber community is saying, you know what, there's a lot of tools out there, and you need them. The defensive tools are important, but they can't keep out the experts, because now that we're all connected, there are billions and billions of devices around the world that are connected, and not just our laptops and our phones, but smart homes and cars and heating and cooling systems and all the things that the third-party vendors that we all use together, we're all connected. And so that defensive posture is not one that is completely successful. The cyber thought leaders are saying now, and I think that there's starting to be a greater awareness around the fact that you need a data-centric component as the core of your security strategy in order to ensure that data is really
so really making sure that the data is the starting point, in fact, of a kind of a security.
I think that that's so, because when you think about it, without thinking about technology at all, data is the lowest common and most valuable component of a business.
Well, it's the one thing that everyone wants. It's the most valuable asset, right?
It is the place where the security should start. And it's quite understandable that we have learned over time. I know that I was thinking to myself as I was looking at some hashtags recently, there's a hashtag a lot of people use, HG, right, Holy Grail. And that's what we're all looking for. We're looking for the Holy Grail. And I think that the Holy Grail changes over time, and that we are in an age where we have to our avail so many smart things and so many smart people who are designing tools that when we put them together properly, if they are put together properly, that we will solve this problem. And so we don't have to think about it very much anymore.
Could you tell me a little bit more about data segmentation and why organizations need it? Why is it important?
So data segmentation is a tool that companies can use to actually make a commitment to find their most valuable data and to segment it out and secure it in a way that is more secure than some of their everyday data, right? Because not all data needs to be secured. When you make a commitment to segmenting your data, for larger companies in particular, it's a big deal, because data is hiding. Valuable data is hiding everywhere. There is data in many companies, particularly enterprise companies, that are as old as 7 or 10 years old, hiding in places that you would not even think about. Okay? And realizing that the data is there and having the kind of personnel who know how to look for it in order to segment it is key to the segmentation process, knowing where to look and all those nooks and crannies, as well as the places that are more recent that you would be storing data. Finding the data that, if it were compromised in any way, lost, manipulated, stolen, right? 92% of cyber crimes are still about stealing the data, right? It's all about money. Finding all that data is a really, really big job. So making the commitment to segment the most valuable data, the data that, if it is compromised, will do the company harm, it means that you put in the work in the beginning, but then you can secure it with a security stack that makes sense, one that certainly has a data-centric component, and then you don't have to keep saving it. You know it's secure. So for companies that have a lot of data, they can reduce their total cost of ownership for data management by anywhere from 20 to 80%, right? Depending upon how much data you have, how much is valuable enough to protect in that way, how many times you're currently backing up your data, right? Companies are constantly backing up all of their data.
Yeah,
right?
and there's a cost associated to that as well. So
A
the storage
huge cost,
yeah.
a huge cost. So doing the work in the beginning, yes. Will it be a budgetary consideration? Yes, but then you don't have to worry about it anymore, and that cost is absorbed over a very short period of time, and then you start actually saving money.
Okay, and then obviously when you're describing this concept to different organisations, do you think they get it? Do you think they understand the importance of it? Because it's more preventative. This is a proactive, preventative measure, and
Yes.
So do you think they get it?
I think that organizations only in the last 12 months are starting to really understand the value of a proactive stance when it comes to their valuable data.
Mm-hmm.
I think that because the laws, GDPR, of course, there are laws in many states in the United States as well that are regulatory compliance focused. They've gained much sharper teeth now. Mm-hmm. And so the fines are quite extraordinary when you do have a data breach. Mm-hmm. So I do think they understand the nature of a proactive stance.
Because it used to be that it will never happen to me kind of attitude, right? And now...
I think there's still some of that thinking, because it's really a lot to think about putting a plan in place to actually protect the data. And I think it is the duty of those of us who are designing the tools and the solutions to make that security easier to implement, ideally non-integrative, autonomous, automated, so that people can go about their business and do business as usual without having to learn how to use these tools. I think this is a real sticking point in the industry, and I think that the easier that security is to use, the more it will be used.
Yeah.
And so to take it out of the hands of the users altogether and just say, you know what, go about your business, because whatever you're working on is safe from creation all the way through sharing inside and outside of the business, and also at rest, right? And there are solutions now that will protect data for decades, no matter how technology changes. And this is something that the life sciences and finance industries and health industries, this is a mandate for them. And now there are ways to do that, and it's important to do so.